So I had a very interesting day today. I had two Crystal Mirror Space Experience clients, meaning I gave two separate private concerts today. The crazy thing was that I only started out the day thinking I was gonna do one um, at 6:30 p.m. and but I just got confused and like I turned out I had a different client at 3 p.m. And so then I got the message. She was like, "I'm in the parking lot." I was like, so I just came out and I was like already kind of like prepped for the next client, or trying to get completely centered with that, and was gonna cram in even more practice to have that set on lock. And then so this really you know cool girl, it was her birthday, right? And damn, it was so. I was like, yo, but I didn't know going in. I just thought, oh, she's just another client doing another experience, which she was. But I'm just saying, like, it was her birthday, and she was there for the experience, and she had rented a dress. So I was like, hey, at first I didn't. I guess I should have played it better, but I was like, yo, I didn't even know. Can we do it another day? But we didn't do it another day. We did it, and she was no. She was like, what? Like, and it was my bad, right? So I was like, well, let's do it then. I was like in this club. I was wearing this, and so you know, we do the thing, take hella photos. I even showed her my little cave of wonders, which is the little nook I created on in the back on the side, just for me or whoever to just marvel at the little mirror cave. Um, uh, so she was happy about that, and then I did a whole set for her. But what was crazy was what was interesting about it, and it all worked out in a really interesting, cool way. Was that so? I played a random playlist as I was like just taking her photos and just in the background. And because I played it because the first song was like this oldies birthday song, I let that play because I do that sometimes. I've collected like five or six oldies, like birthday oldies, um, most rather obscure, like I'd never heard. But anyway, and then the next song came on and it was like Deftones, and so she said, "Oh, could we change it?" And I was like, "We sure. What do you want to hear?" And she said, "Steve Lacy." And so some guy named Steve Lacy. So I have Apple Music on my iPod Touch, and so I put on Steve Lacy. And as soon as the beat comes on, well, as soon as the song comes on, it's a beat. It's like a straight up like an empty beat, which is precisely what I really work well with when I do the G mixing. So I'll grab that beat, right, rather than a full song, rather than it be like most songs, which would have already had a vocal and horns or some kind of all mixed up. This one gave me the beat, so right away I was like, oh, I should G mix this one, right? Like I had to think on my feet, right? In the sense of like, okay, I'm gonna make up for this because like this was such a fail. I thought she was coming Friday. Or I just was so caught up with the fact that I was preparing for another client that evening, uh, right? And so I did it right, and I asked her. I said, uh, what would you rather go to, a Portishead concert or a Radiohead concert? And to my surprise, she said Portishead, which I was glad because I was gonna expect her to say Radiohead, but she said Portishead. I was like, oh, okay. So I did Glory Box, but over that Steve Lacy beat. The song was called N Sign, I believe, something like that, or N Type, or some shit. I don't know. N something, N Type, I think, or N Sign, whatever. I don't know. Point was, it was dope. I did Glory Box because why not? And um, and then I just did all my stuff. But I did it like it was interesting. I did Creep, When the Doves Cry, Love Song by The Cure. Um, what else? Like I did some more Portishead because I was like, well, she said Portishead, so I did uh, Mysterons, and then I closed out with The Rip, right? Um, so yeah, it turned out to be cool. It was a good session. But then I had another session at 6:30, which is the one I've been like really preparing for. Like I learned, um, what did I learn? I learned the song "By the Way" by Red Hot Chili Peppers for them, as well as "Weird Fishes." That was the things I learned. I learned "Weird Fishes" by Radiohead, which of all, I do all these Radiohead songs, but I had never done that one, right? Because it seemed like, I don't know, like there was too much. I was just kind of, I don't know. Sometimes I do get intimidated by certain, like I'll do intimidating songs by them in the sense of like songs with a lot of changes and parts, like Paranoid Android is like a whole production to learn it, because it's like, I don't know, like 8 different parts, but some of them are really out there. And I've done it in the past, but it's for years I've been meaning to come back to it, and I did it even like a year ago. I think I did a, but it's like homework to learn it all, um, and I do it, and I'll probably one of these days a client will ask for it, and I'll be like, totally, I got that one, but um, yeah, maybe I'll do that one soon. The thing is, I haven't had time to just do stuff. I don't want to say for fun, but I have all these. I slip it in. I was recently doing by Bjork, the song Bachelorette, and it's so dope. I mean, every time I think about it, I want to go run and do it again, because it really was like amazing. I was gonna do it for my last client, um, but what like it happens. Like I learned all these long ass sets, and then I may or may even throw extra stuff in there, and the extra thing was gonna be the Bjork Bachelorette over this beat by this artist. I don't remember her name, but she was so good. It was That's the thing, is I'm learning about all these cool artists from my clients, because they're like saying, "Oh, this is my favorite thing, and that's my favorite thing." It's so bizarre, it's so crazy. The amount I've been practicing is maddening, because it's like morning to, well, I can't even say morning to night, just like at all times basically, because I have no choice. Like I literally have to cram. It just, I can do it, and I try to be meticulous, and I am, as far as I write everything down, but learning lyrics, learning how to play them immediately on the keys, like immediately, because there's no is literally like, if I can hear the song and I can sing it, then I can play it on the synth, which is, that's how the vocoder works. Is that I'm singing into the vocoder, and I have to be playing the melody line of the vocal part, right? But um, yeah. So okay, and then also my today client 6:30, the one that I killed myself for, um, he also told me about was it Lennon Claypool Delirium, or Claypool Lennon Delirium, some shit like that. It's like the most amazing song ever, called Blood and Rockets, right? So, I mean, I didn't really read up on who they are, but I'm gathering that it's Les Claypool from Primus, and and actually the rest of, and whoever the vocalist is sounds very much like the Beatles, So I don't know if that's, I'll read up on them. I don't know anything about them, but the song "Blood and Rockets" was completely amazing, completely, and I learned it. Like I didn't learn like, I learned like the first half, basically. Then at the end it does some other shit, right? But the main part of the song, I learned it, 3 parts, um, and but it was complicated. It was like relationship status, complicated, because it was what was it, like something about, it was just my method of doing it. It's hard. I won't even try to describe it, but I have to time the drums so well, and deconstruct the whole song in real time. Like, gather the drums for the last song, gather those drums first. And in this case, it was like a very odd count, and I thought I counted it right, but you know, by the end of it, I looked up at my at the phone that was recording the video of the performance, and it was like 44 minutes, and I was like, okay, that's enough. I don't have to try to get into this whole. It's not like I even had time. I mean, I thought I was gonna have more time. I didn't realize I was gonna have to do a, oh snap, like emergency concert. Like, oh my bad, I got confused, and it's crazy like that. Like I have no choice but to learn hella songs hella fast, you know. It's I've never had that kind of, I mean, I can do it because if you spend hours on stuff, you, but you know, I'm kind of like overachieving with it, which is fine. It's good. It's a good thing. It's like I don't know. Today I'm a little bit exhausted because I had to. You know, even when I just do one, I'm exhausted. So when I do one plus extra stress of like, oh my god, I gotta make this work. And I had a pretty full day too. I had like ran around and done hella stuff, and then but then like was practicing and practicing and yeah. Um, I was gonna have a. This is what was crazy, and this is the part that was giving me like just. It's like I know I can do it. I know at every point I know I can do it. It's just a matter of like, oh no, this is about to be crazy. I'm for sure gonna figure something out. You know, I was supposed to have a client Friday and Saturday, but I still have one on Saturday, but the Friday client said that it's like her and her sister for her birthday. She booked it like 2 weeks ago too, so I've had hella time, and I've worked on it here and there, but I've just been had so many clients. I already gathered the playlist, but she said, "Oh hey, listen," because what did she say? That her sister got COVID exposure, but like she had gotten tested and was negative, but just to be safe, she's gonna quarantine, and so could we do it April 3rd or 4th? So I was like, "Thank you God, yes." Yes, because how in the world was I going to have time to prepare for the Saturday client if I'm already preparing for the Friday client after just having done the Wednesday two clients? Like, no way, yo. So fortunately, I have a whole extra day, which in my universe right now is a lot. You know, when I set my mind to it, I have no choice. You know, so my Saturday client, she has a very eclectic, interesting selection as well. Let's see. I already started to figure out what I'm gonna do. Okay, one song which I wasn't familiar with was "Sex and Candy" by Alan Stone. It's like the cover of the original song, which was by Marcy something. Um, and yeah, the song is called "Sex and Candy," right? And so this guy Alan Stone does like an acoustic version, and you know he kills it. I watched it on YouTube, and it's ridiculous, right? Um, So there you go. Like right away, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna crush that song. Yes. It's funny because on New Year's of this year, like this last New Year's, which is very special, you know, like I played at a cool gathering, and afterwards we're all kicking in, and like so I was started we started playing this game. It was like me and I was talking to someone I just met, and it entailed like one hit wonders, like okay, like singing the hook of it, you know, and trying to guess which one hit wonder it was, right? But this song, "I Smell Sex and Candy" was one of them, right? And I didn't know who it was by, but I knew the song. Of course, everyone had heard it, right? And so I was like, "Oh yeah, that is a good song." And then somewhere in my subconscious, I was like, "Yeah, maybe I should G-mix it," but whatever. It was like 4 in the morning, and I just played a 6-hour set, which was crazy. I had never done anything like that, and it was just, I just, whatever. I was touched by the Holy Spirit. It was like, okay, I guess I can just play for 6 hours. Um, so it was interesting, like this client. So she asked me, she sent me a message. She was like, okay, anyway, so it was like that song, "You Can't Touch This" by MC Hammer, or "Can't Touch This," I should say. You can't touch this. "Can't Touch This" by MC Hammer, which, by the way, I looked up the song. I mean, I obviously I know the song, but like I was going through his songs on Apple Music, and I revisited "Pray." He does the song this song called "Pray," which is really dope, and it samples "When the Doves Cry" by Prince, right? The dun 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 dun, dun whatever. Then it has like a chorus of women singing and men, I guess, singing making this whole all these harmonies, mimicking the original song, and it's beautiful. Sound like kind of like gospel singers like that, but ultra powerful. My nose itches. So yeah, So that's what happened today. It was crazy, but I'm about to go in on for my next line. So yeah, she said you can't touch this. I mean, can't touch. I keep saying you can't touch it. Can't touch this. I feel like that's like sacrosanct since MC Hammer's from the Bay and he's legendary. But so yeah, the song "Pray" is dope. So I'm gonna throw that in. I know she said you can't touch this, and maybe I'll figure something out to that. But I will also do "Pray" because I needed to hear it and it was so good. It was so dope. And I'm gonna do that one. And then she said like "Sexual Healing" by Marvin Gaye. I'll do it, I guess. Sexual. I'll do a G-Mix version of it. Fuck it. I don't know, a Genwave vocoder version, all sounding all synthy, futuristic, wavy. You know, it'll be good. It'll be dope. But yeah, I have like 2 days to do it, to do all that. You know, it's not like, I mean, I would have worked on it before, but I have so many other clients. You know. But I feel good today. I made it a point not to drink any caffeine. I've been reading up on or listening to different interpretations of, the effects of caffeine, and apparently it's like hella bad for you. Like coffee is like terrible for you, you know. Um, and the thing was, I would feel it. I would use it to like, because I had clients, so I would like, okay, I got this client. Let me just get jacked up on caffeine, and I get jacked up on caffeine. And after a few days of that, and doing so, all bad. Just don't feel well. Wouldn't feel well at all, at all. And so yeah, so that's what's up. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. It's crazy, crazy. Getting that article in the SF Gate opened the floodgate of like clients, and the couple I had today, they were so cool. They were so nice, and it was like this guy Brad and his girlfriend. I forget her name, Sarah maybe. I forgot, but Brad was the one who booked it, and that's who I was in contact with, and he was the one that gave me this huge selection, and just the energy and the appreciation was so, was really intensely great, and like yeah, and learning the By the Way by Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Weird Fishes, and um, was it Blood and Rockets by Lennon Claypool Delirium, or Claypool Lennon Delirium. I gotta get that straight. So amazing, so good. And even though when I tried to finally, 44 minutes in, I was like, oh, I was gonna be like, at the end, I was gonna like rock that one, but it was crazy though. Come on, like I only had like, I crammed it all in like a day, like literally like a day. Yes, well, yesterday, I literally did that whole, figured the whole thing out. Mm, you know, um, not the whole song per se, but like, because it's like this epic, crazy, hella like 10 different parts. Different, different changes, different modulations. But I learned the main parts, and um, but nah. At the end, I wasn't able to pull it off. I mean, I had to cut it short, and I realized it had already been like 44 minutes anyway, and it was time to call it. I had killed it with hell of other songs. I did this whole Radiohead selection for them too, and I did a song by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I think that's it. I might be mixing up one of the wizards or gizzards or lizards or whatever. They're really good. I didn't know about them either, but he mentioned them, and since anyway, I was like scrolling through my Instagram, and I saw on KXSF on their feed they had like their top 10 songs of the week, and one of them was by King Gizzard, Lizard Wizard, whatever. And so I was like, oh hey, that's what my client. And let me look him up right quick. Which song is that? And I don't even know if I used that song, but the point was I looked them up, and yeah, like I found a song by them, and I did this whole trippy thing to it. It was it's nutty. It's nutty. Like it literally takes me like, if I had a, I mean, it's hard to quantify, right? But like, I would say I spend like, on each client, I spend a good 6 hours on, because that's how long it takes to like figure out the songs, several of them, and practice them a bunch, like a bunch, and devise a set, sometimes buy music, so explore hell of artists, you know. Some people it's like, oh, they told me hell of producers and DJs and this and that, so I'm like, okay, here I am forever, like going through the whole catalog, right, on Apple Music, and then I straight up buy songs. Like sometimes I've probably spent like up to like $15 on just one client. I'm buying music. I figure, well, I have it anyway, and now it's getting to the point that I gotta like buy it only on like I don't have room on my computer. Like I filled up my computer with stuff. I'm having to erase stuff and kind of like, you know, and really just draw on my experience of the last 3 years of doing that. Since I've been doing this for like 3 years, I've kind of gotten my, you know, like although there is overlap, oftentimes it'll save me that artist. Like for instance, like one of my clients, the one that was supposed to be tomorrow, but it's gonna be the following week. She asked for like a John Mayer song, or John Mayer. She did a John Mayer, so I was like, oh, I did a John Mayer song. I did New Light for a client like 2 years ago for this couple, and yeah, that was before I was even doing the vocoder thing. So it was all like instrumental with the guitar and the synth. But but now of course it's yeah, and now it feels magical. It feels magical to be so intimately connected to all these songs where like I'm beating them into my brain to like deliver and feel and manage and excel as much as possible, and it's really pushing my it's challenging me to like the limits of my ability and wherewithal, dedication, and it's just yeah, it's it's I love it. It's a little bit scary at times, but and then like I know what I have to do, so I do that, but it's not always that cut and dry. Like some, especially when it's like constant stream of clientele, and I didn't act quick enough, and you know um I wasn't, it took me a second before I knew it. I was overwhelmed. I was like, oh God, okay, like I had fallen into the just the habit of like, okay, like I have a decent amount of clientele, or you know the Airbnb experiences, it was paused from like March till October 29th or something like that. And so I had all that time where I was just doing peer space and just renting my studio out for video shoots and photo shoots. And then once it came on board, it's been a barrage. But especially again, once that article came out, holy smoke, that article like really like made it so that and that's how my client tonight found out about me, and he said, oh yeah, this sounds wonderful. That guy, I hope we become friends, because that guy was cool. I'm down with, sometimes I've never become friends with well, actually no, I have become friends with the client. I have one friend, my friend Michelle in Germany. That's the only one who I've kept in touch with, who's super sweet, and she she's a singer, and her husband booked me like 2 years ago or something. And so it's been it's been such a journey. I feel really blessed above all else, because this is like a dream come true in a lot of ways. I mean, uh, in the sense that, but it's, you know, um, I love it. I love it because yeah, there's nothing like totally challenging your own passion, especially like now that I'm like 20 years into it. I'm like giving myself the ultimate, the ultimate. It's kind of silly, Well, it wasn't silly in the beginning. In the beginning, it was like that's reasonable to do over the course of a month, like a few clients, maybe like one a week, you know, one a week, one, maybe three a month, well, on a heavy, maybe five a month. But and sometimes it was hard. It was hard, like, because it's hard. It's hard to do. It's really hard to do. Um, but now I'm getting them like exponentially more clients, because now there's no concerts, there's no venues, and so people are booking me because I'm like I can provide a private concert for one or two people or three people, and I do it, and I put my every element I have of my mind into it, uh, yeah, it's so fun. It's fun, even though it's hard, and it's grueling, grinding. But it's it forces me to kind of like make bust out the magical stuff, because I have no choice. That's the thing. It's interesting what you can do when you have no choice, right? I think that's obviously a metaphor for just life in general, but sometimes you read it's there, you just have to do it, and not be intimidated and not shy away from the challenge, but just meet it. I guess sounds cliche, just meet it head on. But yeah, you just do it. You grind it out, and you do it once, you do it twice. After a while, you just know, you just do it, right? It's crazy. You get used to doing it. I've gotten used to do it. I'm just really just speaking to myself in this regard, but like, you know, I I didn't. It sounds pretty much unreasonable. Like if I, but it's doesn't mean it's not doable. But sometimes you have to do what's unreasonable, and that's how you get the real results. What's uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable. It's but it's so interesting because it's like I'm I'm doing the like an uncomfortable amount, but of workload regarding like learning music and deliver, like learning it to the point that I can recreate it and sing it. But like I'm reading the lyrics, or I do my best to memorize as much as I can. But it's like I have all my notes. I'm looking at notes. I'm looking at lyrics. I'm playing and doing everything. Like but doing that, like um, yeah, no, I feel blessed. I really do. I really do. And I'm just I'm happy to have this opportunity, and I'm gonna keep doing it. It's it's so magical learning about these. It's just like I can't say stress enough how like of course it's magical to learn the songs, to deliver them, but even just being introduced to so many artists in such a deep way. And when I learn, like these, like that song by Lennon Claypool, Delirium, um, they it's such an amazing song. It's so good. It's like the best. It's just incredible. And then by looking up the lyrics and having to like go over them like a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen times, like it's like first of all they're just deep. They tell such a crazy story, and they're like really kind of heady topic. Like I wouldn't have been able to make that out by just hearing the song. It was cool already. Then I learned the lyrics. I'm like, whoa, wow, they went there. Okay, what? This is insane. And the video is like this very old school animation, kind of like vintage animation with, I don't know. You know how people get all over the top and amazing with animation. It's like that. So yeah. Okay, I should get this because I am delirious, like the Claypool and Delirium. What a name, right? All right. Peace.